Hey folks, this is Lucid, and we have a new tool that the community is making for Dominions 5. There used to be a Dominions wiki, which was pretty good for, I think it was Dominions 3. I don't know if it really ever got updated to Dominions 4, but it's gone down. And there have been a few different Dominions wikis over the years. This one, I think, is a little bit special because, all wikis take a community to make it. But I think this one is kind of collectively owned by the community. And one thing that's just different about that, there's quite a few admins, there's people who can kind of pick this up if one person loses interest in terms of running it. So hopefully this is a wiki that can last for a long time. It's called Illwiki, and this art up here is done by Pymus, which I really like for the logo, and then Illwinter has approved of it, which is good. This isn't the official wiki or anything like that, but we did need to get their permission to use their logo, or things that resembled it. So yeah, we designed this wiki to look a bit like Master of Magic, which is a fantastic DOS game if you've never played it. But the wiki for it is absolutely fantastic, and you can see we're not there. This is clearly a bit nicer than ours. But anyway, here it is. So the sections are, we have Beginner's Guide, where we've got a bunch of things, how to do stuff, acronyms. So there's a fair amount that's already done. Pretender archetypes. And some of these obviously need some more refining, but tools. And then we have Dominion's Discord servers, so you can see all the ones on here. And you got my Dominion server on here. Discord server on here. So yeah, anyway, that's the beginner guide stuff. And then we have nations. There's a bunch of nations. Now this is where kind of a lot of work is left to be done. There's a few that are done. I think Ulm right now is probably the best looking in terms of the template. We've got lore, general overview, national features, notable units, and then commanders. I feel like, just personally, I feel like this is a little bit too much stuff at the beginning. Some of this is really helpful, like knowing which paths and how high. So I think one of the changes we're going to make is doing like Earth 2 or Nature 2 or whatever to know like how high can you climb in each of these paths. So I think I like this feature, the national features. But I don't know. Notable units. I feel like that's kind of, I don't know. I feel like this thing probably should go. But anyway. And then for the units, we have kind of a table right here with costs, what magic paths they get. Some of this we still have some formatting things we need to improve on. Like obviously this is not very good looking right here where you see, 1 Earth and then question mark 100%, 50%. So we have to figure out how to do it better. This is kind of one of the templates that we're working off of. And then another one is the one I did, which is not as pretty looking, but Lanka. And so here it's more just like a text thing. So anyway, we'll have to consolidate some of these formats and make them look more similar. But basically it's all the units. Now, one thing you may ask is, why would we do this when instead we could just do... oh, that's kind of weird. When instead you could just use the mod inspector, because all the units are in here. Why would we use anything? You could come to Atlantis and just look up all the units. And the answer, I believe, is... well, twofold. One, there's a lot of mechanics that are not in. Okay, well, there's a lot of mechanics that aren't in the mod inspector. Especially if you want to like really understand how the game works, you're not going to learn it from that. And so I think where we have reached with the nations is we want them to be. I don't think we're going to be committed to having all of the stats in here, like the mod inspector. We might have more than we currently have. But if we do that, we need a way to kind of automate it. And there's one guy working on the team who seems to have figured out a way to kind of do that. but we want it to be sort of guide-like, but without as much opinion, right? So, like, talk about roles, what things can do, what trade-offs are, but not necessarily tell you what you should do. And so, like, for example, with 38 HP, decent starting gear and stat line, a competent thug, and combat mage. Like, that just tells you kind of what roles this guy can fulfill. And then also functions as an Errant Death Sabbath Master. So, but anyway, so this kind of gives you a sense of all the units and kind of what you can do with them. This took me probably like 3 hours, or maybe more, probably like 4 hours over the course of a couple days to write all this up. And then strategies and stuff here. So the strategies obviously are going to be a bit more. I tried to write this without telling anybody what to do still, just saying like different things to think about and different things you can do, rather than saying this is what you should do. And then we'll probably have linked guides down here at the bottom. So I think we'll be able to do it where we can create new pages on the wiki for some of the guides if people want to do that. Or we can link to external guides down here. But you can tell this is a lot more in depth than what you would get in like if we look up Blanca here. There's some things you would still want to use the mod inspector for, because the mod inspector is going to have more detailed stats. Like, we don't even have all of this up here for any of these units. But I think especially if you're a new player or a newer player or an intermediate level player that hasn't really played this nation much before, you could kind of come here, and I think this is going to give you a much better sense of how to play the nation than this. And also, I think this is open-ended enough where it's kind of a primer for Lanka if you want to read other guides, right? Or if somebody has, like, this is the order in which you should do things, or these units are good, these aren't. Like, this doesn't get into that. It just makes it so you understand what the units can be used for. So anyway, that's Lanka. And Ulm and Lanka, I think, are the most kind of far along at this point. People have started working on some of the other ones, but you can see this is just basically a copy and paste of Ulm so far, and people are going to go in and put the Airmore stuff. So anyway, those are the nations. And then Magic... We've got, this is a write-up that was done, I think by Sertoma, and this is on kind of strategy for site searching. This is a really good guide, by the way. And he's got this Excel analysis he's linked to here, which he did, which is phenomenal. But if you want to know about optimal site searching strategies, this is a really good guide to read. And then, obviously, there's a lot of stuff we haven't done. Combat, Magic, Ritualist, Globals. And then over here we have strategy and tactics. We have pretenders. Not really sure how that's going to play into with pretender archetypes. So there's still a fair amount we have to sort out. Blesses. Looks like this one's been done. That's kind of nice. We have a nice table here. I haven't looked at all of these. We've only been working on this for a couple weeks. And then we have game mechanics. And this is one of the things I think is really important, because the manual is a little too thick to try to really work through it and understand it. And it's a little different to search. You have to pull up a PDF and basically do Control F and click next a bunch of times to find what you want to find. So having, I think, all this organized in like a wiki-type format is a lot better. Turn order sequence, province attributes, this is the random number generator, so it's got the DRN tables. So this is really useful, by the way. So if you're up 6, so like if you're attack 16 attacking defense 10, then you've got a 6 modifier, which means there's an 86% chance you're going to hit. So at least I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So anyway, super useful. And then stacking effects. I have no idea what this is. Never seen that before. And then research. I guess it's the research table. Obviously a little ghetto, but I look this thing up all the time. Like, the number of times I probably site searched Dominion's 5 research table, probably a lot of times. So just having it in one place, very useful. And then mods, wiki to do. These are things we need to do. and then how to contribute. So I want to talk on this one for a bit. Basically, the way to do this, to get involved, is you need to come to Althea's Discord server, which is right over here. And it's got this icon. And basically, once you're in here, you want to look for the Wiki project. And there's a few admins, and it says who they are here. Tomatej, I don't know how you say that, and then Manderby Max and Pencils. You can message any one of them, or just make a post in that thread and ask to be given an account. And they will give you an account so you can come in here and edit. There's also a Wiki collab. Whatchamacallit? There's a Wiki collab voice channel. So if you want to get in it and kind of talk with people, make it a social activity while you're working on it, you can do that. I know I'll do at least one where I'll stream as I kind of edit it, and you guys, I'll probably get on that voice channel and we can, sit around and talk and do one of the guides or something. But yeah, so basically you get an account, and then once you have an account, you come in here, and editing it is a little tricky, but we'll talk about it. So I think I'm logged in. We'll pull up Lanka, since that was one I had worked on before. And we basically do edit. Oh, that's nice. They broke it up, so it's like little separate sections now that we edit instead of the whole thing. And so this may look a little intimidating to you, because you can see it's not all in text. Basically, let me just tell you a little bit about how it works. So these things right here, this means underline. If you do this, you do 2 before and 2 after, and whatever is between it, it will underline. The asterisks mean bold, so anything between 2 asterisks will become bold. So that's what this means. This doesn't mean anything. This just bars. Or maybe this does mean something. 5. They're different numbers, so I'm not even sure. And so anyway, and then you basically have text, kind of like you're typing a paragraph. And then these things right here with the double brackets. This is how you do an image. And I'll just show you real quick. Here's the image uploader. And so you basically click on this, and you can see there's a bunch of images that have already been uploaded. So one thing, this tool is a little tricky to use. So what I would suggest is come on here and see if there's a nation we already have images for that you kind of want to do a guide for. Or you can ask in the wiki kind of project page if somebody can do the images for you. Because I've messed it up several times. We don't want to put them in the wrong directory when you upload images, because then somebody else has to come back in and fix it, and that's a little bit annoying. But yeah, so basically you come in here, like here's Calum, and here are all the Calum images. And so all you have to do to add it is you click on it, and then you click some of these options. Like here we'll just do small. This is whether you want it inline or not. We'll do it inline, and then insert. And here you can see the Calum insert going off. I clicked it in like a really weird spot, by the way, like in the bracket. So here's the Calum image. So we'll see it pop up right under notable commanders, but it's going to be huge. The other thing you have to do is you have to get the size right. And the size is right here, this and what tends to work pretty well is either 20 or 25. So basically you just come in and do this. A lot of them too, I like where this is the alignment parameter right here. And what I typically do, you can either do this is going to be left aligned, I think. Another one, I think if you want complete wraparound, is you delete it. But you don't even have to know all this. All you really have to know is you can take one of these, because like if you get the Ohm template or whatever, you probably don't want to tinker with any of this. All you really want to do is you want to get this text, which is the basically locator for that image file, and you just put it right here. And you just go like boom. So preview, I'm not going to save this. But here you can see it just puts this guy here as if it were one of the Lankan dudes, right? So, and you don't tinker with any of this other stuff over here, which is going to be the alignment or whatever. So yeah, basically you would take a format, you would come in, you would replace the images with the images you want, and at the same time you replace them, you probably replace like the title, so this is the Raktapada. And one thing you'll notice too, and this is a way you can do it, is if you come in here and like we're looking at Kalem, you can copy, it's a little funky, but you can copy the path and do like, select here and just paste it, and that way you don't actually have to use the thing where you click it. So, you know, you could come through and just take the pretext for whatever nation you're going to put in, like if we're doing it. You can come in and just replace all this. And then just come back in afterwards and paste the .png thing for each specific image you want. I'm not going to save any of that. There's also a tool somebody's working on that will fill out basically a basic page automatically generated from the data from the mod inspector. So that will be pretty cool. It can save some of the busy work, and then the humans can come in and actually put kind of the, you know, some of the more thoughtful stuff in the text. But anyway, I'm worried I might have scared you a little bit by showing you how to edit it, but it's important to at least kind of have the basics. But really, it's not that hard. I mean, all you have to do, you come in here, you replace this image with the image directory from the nation you want, like the Kalem thing, which is really just this part needs to be replaced. You can keep all this stuff to the right. So you replace that, you give it the name you want, and then you kind of type in what you want here. The other thing I'll say is there's a lot of little mini icons we've put in that can make it kind of hard to read. But like this is just the air icon, right? So anytime you want to do an air icon, you just copy and paste this somewhere. And all these paths are named correctly. So if I wanted to change this from air to nature, I could just type in nature, right? And then we would see the Rakshasi have a nature path, you know, even though it shouldn't, right? So it's really easy to come in and change it, and then you can just copy and paste that around. And it gives you this nice visual. So, anyway, that's basically how you edit it. I don't think any of us are advanced enough yet where we're figuring out permissions and who does what. Right now, it is a target-rich environment if you want to contribute. So, what I would suggest, if you want to contribute, get on the Discord, get a user account, figure out a nation you like, and then get in there and start editing and be social about it. Try to make it fun. And sure, people are going to have feedback like, hey, this format's weird, or hey, I could improve this. But a lot of people are going to come in and like, you know, after you're done, they'll come in and add things and make what you did better. So just embrace the process. And it's kind of cool that something, you know, like I don't know how much more time I'm going to put into this for Lanka. But I'm sure some people else will come in and fix it up and make it look even better. And then in a year from now, when I come back and probably look at this, I'll be like, huh, that's kind of cool. I worked on that. Even though it's improved beyond what I had put in. So thanks, guys. I hope you check it out. I will put a link to the Discord in the description and a link to the wiki. But the wiki is just illwiki.com, which I think is a pretty sweet name. So cheers, folks. Take care.